Welcome to the Deep Dive, the show where we grab the important sources and really break them down for you.
We cut through the clutter to get to what matters.
Exactly. And today we're diving into something pretty essential for driving, navigating intersections and making turns. Super common, but tricky stuff.
Absolutely ground zero for safe driving. It's, where a lot of things can go wrong if you're not paying attention or don't know the rules.
And our source today, it's the official stuff. We're looking at Chapter 5 of the New York State Driver's Manual, specifically the bits on intersections and turns.
Straight from the DMV. This is the core information you need.
So our mission here is to pull out the key rules, the safety tips, the legal must-dos from this chapter. We want to help you understand how to handle these spots safely and correctly.
And it's important because, while the manual itself points out that most traffic crashes, they happen at intersections, often when someone's making a turn.
Most crashes, wow. Okay, that really tells you why this is so critical to get right.
Definitely. So let's jump in and unpack these rules.
All right, first up, right of way. Who goes first?
Yeah, the manual explains that, signs and signals are great, but they don't solve every potential conflict. So we need these right-of-way rules to dictate who needs to yield, who needs to wait.
Okay, so what's rule number 1?
Rule 1 is about traffic that's already in the intersection. If you're approaching, you have to yield to vehicles already there.
So even if my light just turned green.
Right. Let's say your light turns green, you want to go straight, but there's a car still finishing a left turn in the intersection. You wait. They were there first. They get to clear it.
Got it. Makes sense. Okay, what about drivers coming from opposite directions, especially that left turn situation?
Ah, yes, the classic left turn yield.
Sure.
This is a big one. If you're meeting another car coming the opposite way, you both arrive about the same time. If you want to turn left and they're going straight or turning right,
I have to yield.
you yield. The manual's very clear. The driver turning left yield to traffic going straight or turning right. They have the right of way.
Okay. Simple rule, but waiting to turn left can feel tricky. Does the manual say how to wait?
It does, and it's all about safety. You can move into the intersection to prepare for the turn, assuming your light is green and the way is clear, of course.
Right.
But while you're waiting there, 2 key things. Stay to the right of the road center line, and this is crucial, keep your front wheels pointing straight ahead.
Straight ahead, not turned left yet.
Exactly. Keep them straight.
Why is that so important?
Well, think about it. If your wheels are already turned left and someone bumps you from behind.
Oh, I see. You'd get pushed right into the path of oncoming traffic.
Precisely. Wheels straight means if you're hit from behind, you're more likely to be pushed forward, not into the other lane. It's a major safety point the manual stresses.
That's a really good practical tip. And this yielding for left turns, it applies even if I'm turning into, say, a parking lot entrance.
Yep. Even with no signs or signals, if you're turning left off the main road into a driveway, parking lot, anywhere like that, you must yield to oncoming traffic.
And judging if they're too close.
That's where the manual says experience and judgment come in. It explicitly states you need to judge if traffic is too close to make the turn safely. And their advice, if you're in any doubt, just wait.
Rules plus judgment. Got it. Okay, what about intersections with no signals? Or maybe stop signs at right angles?
Right. Uncontrolled intersections are scenarios where drivers stop at the same time at right angles. The rule is the driver on the left must yield to the driver on the right.
So if we both pull up to stop signs, same time, you're on my right, I wait for you.
Correct. You yield.
Okay, next rule.
Entering a road from somewhere that isn't a road, like coming out of a driveway, an alley, a private road.
Leaving the mall parking lot.
Exactly. You have to stop completely before the sidewalk or road edge, and you must yield to all the traffic already on the roadway and to any pedestrians.
So check left, check right if I'm turning left, check left if I'm turning right, and always watch for people walking.
Absolutely. And that brings us neatly to the next rule. Pedestrians.
They get their own specific rule.
They do. Drivers must yield to pedestrians who are legally using crosswalks, whether they're marked or unmarked. You have to slow down or stop if necessary.
The manual gives that example. Your light turns green, but someone's just stepping into the crosswalk. You wait.
You wait. And also, check those crosswalks to your left and right before you start your turn. Pedestrians can be harder to spot there. The overall message is just be super careful around pedestrians and cyclists.
Makes sense. Okay, Rule 6 sounds like common courtesy, but it's a rule.
It is preventing gridlock.
Absolutely.
You cannot enter an intersection if the traffic on the other side is backed up so much that you can't get all the way through.
Don't block the box.
That's the one. Keep the intersection clear. Be aware of cross streets.
Good rule. And the last right-of-way rule.
Traffic circles or rotaries.
Yeah.
When you're approaching one, you yield to the drivers who are already circulating inside the circle.
Yield to those already in it. Simple enough. Okay, so that covers the basic who goes first scenarios.
Right. But the chapter also talks about special situations, like emergency vehicles.
Yeah, the flashing lights and sirens. What's the procedure there?
For fire trucks, ambulances, police cars, any authorized emergency vehicle that's responding, flashing red, blue, or red-white lights, maybe a siren or air horn.
Though the manual notes police sometimes don't use the siren.
Correct. Police, sheriff, or state troopers aren't always required to use the audible signal. But if you see or hear an emergency vehicle approaching,
You need to pull over.
immediately and safely, pull over to the right-hand edge of the road and stop. Clear the way.
What if I'm right in the middle of an intersection?
The guidance is to carefully drive out of the intersection first, then pull over to the right and stop. Don't stop in the intersection.
And pull over even if they're coming towards me in the opposite lane on a two-way street?
Yes. Pull to the right and stop. Also, if you hear a siren but can't see where it's coming from, the advice is pull over to the right, stop, and wait until you know it's not headed your way.
Good advice. And the manual adds a caution about them being unpredictable.
It does. Emergency vehicles might speed, go through red lights, maybe even the wrong way on a one-way street. They have exemptions, so you need to be extra alert and give them plenty of space.
Huh.
Expect the unexpected.
This sounds related to the move-over law. How does that fit in?
It's connected. The move-over law starts, generally, you have to use due care not to hit any vehicle stopped on the shoulder or side of the road.
Okay, basic safety.
But on bigger roads, multi-lane parkways, interstates, controlled access highways, if you see a vehicle stopped on the shoulder, due care specifically includes moving over one lane away from it, if you can do so safely.
So, car on the shoulder, I'm in the right lane. If the middle lane is clear, I should move over.
Yes, if it's safe.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an extra bit. If that stopped vehicle is an authorized emergency vehicle or a hazard vehicle, like a tow truck or snowplow, with its flashing lights on,
Like the amber lights.
amber or emergency lights, yeah.
Yeah.
For those on those multi-lane roads, you must also reduce your speed in addition to moving over, again, assuming it's safe to move over.
So, move over and slow down for emergency hazard vehicles on those big roads if you can safely move. Got it.
Right. That distinction is important.
What about vehicles with only blue, green, or amber lights flashing? Volunteer firefighters, maybe?
Exactly. The manual clarifies these. Blue lights can mean a volunteer firefighter responding. Green for volunteer ambulance or rescue folks. Amber is often hazard vehicles like plows, tow trucks, maybe rural mail carriers, school buses warning you.
Okay, so how do we treat those? Do we have to pull over?
Here's the key difference. The manual states very clearly that vehicles with only blue, green, or amber lights are not authorized emergency vehicles. Their drivers must obey all traffic laws.
Meaning
Meaning you are not legally required to yield the right-of-way to them like you would for a police car with sirens.
so no legal need to stop or pull over.
Correct. However, the manual does suggest that giving them the courtesy of yielding, if you can do it safely, is appropriate. They might be heading to an incident, but legally, no obligation to yield.
That's a really important distinction. Courtesy versus legal requirement.
Huge difference in expectation and action.
All right, let's switch from yielding to actually making the turns. We know this is where many crashes happen.
Yeah, so getting the mechanics right is vital, and the absolute first thing the manual emphasizes is signaling.
You have to signal.
It's the law. Turn signals, or hand signals, at least 100 feet before you turn or change lanes.
100 feet. That's about, what, 6 or 7 car lengths?
Roughly.
Yeah.
And a great safety tip from the source. Try to signal before you start braking or turning. Give people maximum warning.
Good tip. What else should you do before turning?
Okay, several things. Slow down, obviously. Be alert for traffic everywhere. Check mirrors, blind spots.
And the manual really highlights looking for...
Motorcycles. It specifically calls them out. Says they're involved in crashes often because other drivers just fail to see them. They're small, hard to judge speed and distance.
So make an extra effort to look for motorcycles before any turn, but especially left turns across traffic.
Absolutely critical. Other prep tips include, again, keep those wheels straight while waiting to turn left. Remember, your rear wheels follow a tighter path than your front wheels.
Right, they cut the corner more. Closer to the curb on a right, closer to oncoming traffic on a left.
Exactly. And always, always watch for pedestrians, cyclists, moped riders,
Yeah.
especially on right turns where they might be close to the curb. And look out for people in wheelchairs or with strollers. They're lower down, potentially hidden.
So signal early, slow down, check everything, especially bikes and pedestrians.
Yeah.
Wheels, straight for lefts, know your vehicle's path. Got it.
Those are the prep steps. Now, the manual gets super specific about where your vehicle needs to be positioned for different turns. This isn't just advice, it's the law.
Okay, let's break these down. A standard right turn.
Get as far to the right in your lane as you possibly can. No wide sweeping turns. Turn into the right lane of the road you're entering, unless signs tell you differently.
Makes sense. Keep it tight.
Mm.
What about a left turn from a one-way street onto another one-way street?
For that, you prepare by being in the left lane of the one-way you're on. Then you turn into the left lane of the one-way street you're entering, assuming it has multiple lanes, left lane to left lane.
Okay, now left turn from a one-way onto a two-way street.
Still approach in the left lane of the one-way. When you enter the two-way street, you need to end up just to the right of its center line. As close to the center line as possible, but definitely on the right side. And watch for traffic from your left.
Still gotta watch out. Okay, the most common one, perhaps. Left turn from a two-way street onto another two-way street.
Approach in the lane closest to the center line of your road. The manual suggests trying to turn just to the left of the intersection center point, so you don't conflict with oncoming left turners. You enter the new road again, just to the right of its center line, but close to it.
And again, check traffic.
Yes, check traffic from the left, check the lane you're crossing. This is where that motorcycle warning pops up again. Drivers turning left across a lane, some just don't see them.
Really gotta look twice. Okay, left turn from a two-way street onto a one-way street.
Approach near the center line of the two-way street. Make the turn before you reach the absolute center of the intersection and turn into the left lane of the one-way street you're entering.
Into the left lane there. Interesting. And lastly, left turn from a two-way street onto a big four-lane highway.
Approach near the center line again. You enter the highway turning into the left lane, the one closest to the center median, making sure you stay to the right of the highway's center line overall. Then, once you're safely established, move out of that left lane when traffic allows, as it's usually for passing.
Wow, that's quite specific for each scenario.
It really is. It shows that proper lane positioning isn't optional. It's built into the rules for safety and flow. You need to be in the right place before and during the turn.
Absolutely. Okay, the chapter finishes up with ways to turn completely around, right? U-turns and three-point turns.
That's right. A U-turn is just, well, turning around to go the opposite way. The manual actually advises against doing them on highways if you can avoid it. Better to use a parking lot or driveway if possible.
But if you do make a U-turn on a street...
Legally, you must start it from the part of the lane closest to the center line, never from the right lane.
Can you do one on a green arrow for a left turn?
Yes, the manual says you can if U-turns are allowed there in the first place and you still yield to any other traffic or pedestrians.
And there are places they're just plain illegal, aren't there?
Oh yeah, near hills or curves where drivers can't see you from 500 feet away. In New York City business districts, unless a sign permits it, anywhere a no U-turn sign is posted. Absolutely never on a limited access expressway. And also prohibited in school zones.
So lots of restrictions. Use them sparingly and only where legal and safe.
Definitely. The alternative turnaround method mentioned is the three-point turn.
Sometimes called a K-turn.
Exactly. The manual says you might use this on a narrow two-way street where a U-turn isn't feasible or allowed. And it could be on your road test. It has 4 steps.
Okay, step 1.
Signal right, pull over to the right curb or edge, and stop. Then signal left, check traffic really carefully all directions.
Step 2.
Turn the wheel sharp left, drive across the road slowly until your front bumper is almost at the left curb or edge. Stop there.
Step 3.
Look carefully for traffic again. Turn your steering wheel all the way to the right. Look behind you. Back up slowly until you're clear of the center before hitting the right curb. Stop.
Step 4.
Stop. Check traffic again. Turn the wheel all the way left. Then, when it's safe, pull forward into the proper lane, completing the turn. It sounds complicated, but following those steps keeps you in control and minimizes how long you block traffic. Safety checks at each stage.
Breaking it down. Good stuff.
And just to help you log all this in, the manual chapter ends with some self-check questions. Things like hand signals, yielding, turn positions.
Good idea to review those after going through the material.
Definitely reinforces the key takeaways.
So wrapping this up, what's the big picture from this deep dive into Chapter 5?
I think it really highlights that navigating intersections and turns isn't just about following one or two simple rules. It's this complex interplay between very specific legal requirements like lane positioning, signaling distance, and the need for constant driver awareness and judgment.
Yeah, you have the hard rules like yielding to the right at stop signs, but then you have situations like judging gaps in traffic for a left turn where it's on you to make the safe call.
Exactly. And the focus on vulnerable road users, pedestrians, cyclists, motorcyclists is huge. The rules emphasize looking out for them because they're harder to see and more at risk.
It feels like understanding these details isn't just about avoiding tickets, it's about actively participating and making the whole system work safely. Like a dance, almost.
That's a good way to put it. Everyone needs to know the steps. When you follow the rules for positioning and yielding, you're predictable. When you're predictable, other drivers can anticipate your actions, and the whole system flows more smoothly and safely.
And remembering that statistic from the start, most crashes happen at intersections. Often during turns really drives home why knowing these specific rules and applying good judgment is so critical.
It's those moments, correctly yielding, signaling properly, taking that extra look, that prevent those common crashes.
So maybe the provocative thought here is, how much are we just relying on signs and signals versus actively applying these underlying right-of-way rules and positioning principles every single time we approach an intersection or make a turn?
Yeah, are we just reacting, or are we proactively managing the space of the situation according to these foundational rules?
Right.
It requires constant mental engagement.
Definitely something to think about next time you're behind the wheel.
A little knowledge and attention go a long way.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into intersections and turns based on the NY State Driver's Manual. Hope this breakdown was helpful.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay out there.
And join us next time for another deep dive.